He's from the right side, yes. He's a conservative. He's a Republican. His name is Armstrong Williams. Talked to him the other day, and he predicted a couple of things that kind of, raised some eyebrows in this room. But one of the things that I thought was that he said that was really came to fruition is that the Republicans are done with Donald Trump. Good morning, Armstrong Williams. How are you, sir?
Good morning to everyone.
Hi.
Wow. When you said that, I went, come on. You're right. The election last night, I think, signaled the end of Trump politics. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's directing. The Republicans would have done much better. Trump going into Pennsylvania did not help Dr. Oz, Karen Lake, Trump endorsed candidate. It's the repudiation of Trump. I mean, Trump's values, the fact that he's not shown any sign of maturity since he was defeated, is just not a good sign. Not only does the Republican Party not need him, the country, the world does not need him.
Thank you.
Who is this on the phone with us?
It's Armstrong.
Wow.
Hello?
That's Armstrong.
Wow.
But no, he's not just coming up with this today because Armstrong's been saying this to me. Okay, so I can vouch for that. But let me just say this. I was shocked. I was expecting there to be a bloodbath. And I think a lot of y'all did. And, the exit polls were saying all Americans cared about was the economy and crime. And third place was Roe versus Wade. Well, Roe versus Wade was second place from my estimation. Am I wrong?
Well, the pocketbook issues. Listen, you cannot ignore what happened in Michigan with Whitmer, and people saw that as abortion. But the main issue were the pocketbook issues. America, and the good thing about God laughs at all of us. Everybody has something they can celebrate in last night's election. I don't care who you are. You may say grimace a little bit, but you know what? We did okay here. We did okay. It's just the way the world works. At least we're not as divided as most the media wants us to believe there's going to be this.
Right.
The red wave never happened. What happened was people want this country to work for Americans, not
exactly.
for migrants. They want the prices lowered at the gas tank. They want to be able to afford their food, send their kids to college. Americans want an American way of life. That's what it's about.
And I think, Armstrong, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I do think that a lot of people voted for the candidate that they like, that shared their values. And hopefully, this might be a lesson to all the politicians up on Capitol Hill. It's time for y'all to work together. It is time for y'all to do something. Yes, and get rid of this divisiveness, because we had divisiveness on steroids. And all those folks that backed up Trump, 85% of them lost. That's a message. Loud and clear.
What happened last night, we all can say this. We can all disagree, but at the end of the day, we all are Americans. We are much stronger together than we are apart. Last night was a message that America is still strong if we are strong. And Donald Trump is a divisive force. That's just a fact. He is a divisive force that we don't need. And I'm finally glad that in last night's midterm elections, he was repudiated, which what it should be. Let the voters decide his fate, not the January 6th commission, not some investigation. Let the voters decide his fate. Let the people speak. And when the people speak, they normally get it right.
Well, I agree and disagree, but I think that the January 6th committee and all these other investigations are important so it can show Americans that our judicial system does work and no one's above the law. You need to be held accountable. We just can't have somebody else come along and say, well, Trump did it, I can do it too. So I think that's important, but that's part of our democracy. I feel good about democracy for the first time in this country in the last 7 years. It's the first time I feel good about it. And I think that, I think people are going to start to work together. I really do, because they're not going to have a choice. Yeah, you got the Marjorie Taylor Greens and all these other folks that are going to make it very difficult for whoever's going to be the Speaker of the House. And they're going to have to repudiate that person. They're going to have to put that person in their place. But I don't know. It wasn't what I expected. And I'm sure it wasn't what you expected either, Armstrong, but I'm not going to rub it in your face because we don't do that. We've never done that. But at the same time, I think this is good for America.
Well, one of the things we should take away, Brian Kemp is an example of Republicans that we need. Repudiate Trump, stand your ground, let him come after you, and you still win in your state by a landslide because people make the decision. Stacey Abrams lost not because of the fact she's a woman and black. Her values were out of line. She just kept having foot and mouth disease throughout the campaign, and she could not connect with the voters. That's why she lost.
So her... Okay, I'm going to leave it alone.
That's a long story for us to debate because she was just speaking her truth, and a lot of us could relate to it, but not enough that would vote for her to get her over the hump. Listen, we got to go, Armstrong. I appreciate your phone call. I just think that this is a new day in America, and hopefully we can grow from this. All right, man. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. All right.
Mm-hmm. Bye.